Dear God, welcome to this sacred space. It's Silvia here, your esoteric artist and ascension mentor. And today I'm here to share a very important message that came to me as a very deep insight. I'm going to go through some notes that I have actually handwritten in my journal, so you may hear the sound of the pages, of me turning the pages and going through my notes as I share with you this important message. I ask you to close your eyes and place a hand on your heart, feel deeply connected to your body and your soul, and sip all the sacred elixir that comes from this message. So I start to share a little bit of my daily life first to then bring you into my insight. It is actually my experience through my daily life that gave me this insight. And this is very symbolic as well, because physical, therefore daily life, and spiritual, therefore the insight that I got from it, are always oneness. They are intertwined. There is no one without the other. And so when we talk about the physical, we also talk about the spiritual, and vice versa. So it all started from these couple of experiences of mine. The first one, very, very simple daily life things, So the first one, I had to book an appointment. I called the booking center, but actually there wasn't any space available. There wasn't any spot available. There was only one spot in something like 3 months, and the electronic system didn't allow the clerk to actually book my appointment. So they put me on the list, and they said, we will let you know. So I simply carried on with my things, with my life, and every now and then I was checking my phone when I was receiving calls to double check that was that number calling me for the appointment. But anyway, after something like 10 days, I didn't hear anything, and I got this, strong input from within myself. And on Monday, I said, okay, we start the week, and I called the booking center again to, rebook the appointment. So when I called, the clerk on the phone said to me, is your prescription code ending with 696, and are you on the list? And I said, well, I don't know if I'm still on the list, because I've actually haven't heard from you anymore. And she said to me, well, just today a spot became available, and so you were going to receive the call from us today. So if you have pen and paper, you can, write down your appointment, and you have it. And I said, of course, I'm ready. So I got this input, from within myself to call the booking center again. And that was the very day when the spot became available. So I said, after I hung up the call, I said within myself, interesting. This is my commanded manifestation. And this is the first episode. Let's move to the second. So I am actually watching a TV series these days, which intrigues me very much. Is all about singing, and it's with very beautiful actors. And there is one character in particular which I am in love with, absolutely in love with. Is a male character, and he embodies, for me, for my standards, which is the perfection of male essence, of male energy. The only thing is that the name which this character is actually playing, the role is actually playing, it's something triggering for me, something that I don't absolutely like. Is the only name in the entire universe which I do not want to have in my sphere, in my reality. So I was pondering, I love this character, I love this man very much. Which would be the perfect name for this being, And amongst my choices, I ended up with two names. Two names which are two of my favorite male names. And the other night, I just decided to go search on internet about the actor that plays this role in the series. And guess what? I found out which is his real name in real life. And his name and surname, so magical. It's actually exactly formed by the two names which I had selected for him to be the perfect names for him. So this is the second episode. You can, laugh about it. You can smile about it. You can, as I did, ponder for a moment about how powerful am I? How much power do I have within myself? Do you recognize, and this is my inner talk, do you recognize how powerful you are? You simply decided things, and this is what hardened into fact, into your own reality. I, may have chosen two different names for that actor, and for sure I would have discovered that that was his name and surname, because that is me. That is what I selected for my reality. Therefore, these two episodes, the first one of the appointment, the booking of my appointment, and the second one about the names of this man who I love so much, brought me to consider things from an expanded awareness. And I came to understand something a little bit higher, on a higher level than I was before. Through my ascension journey, and since I had included the law of assumption in my life, I've actually came to the conclusion that soul is God. And, it's about, I guess, some months, not a year yet, but some months, that I am considering soul as God. I had this clear understanding one day, Now, from a certain level of evolution, which is ascension, which is remembering who we truly are, there is something else that I've actually discovered, that there is a constant dialogue going on with soul. I can witness that soul is giving me hints on what is truly right for me. Because sometimes I believe, maybe rationally, that this thing or that thing is something that I do want, something that is right for me. But then in the three-dimensional reality, I do get something different. And so naturally, I create a kind of resistance. But then I've also started to understand something else, that soul is giving me hints. You are not getting this thing the way you rationally believe you deserve to have, because on a soul level, on a higher level, on an energy, more expanded level, there is something else that is truly, deeply right for you. And this is something that only my soul knows. But in some ways, I am not connected to that part of my soul, and so I do not recognize that something different is what is truly right for me. However, when I open my physical eyes and I do observe the reality, I can say, I can know, I can witness that soul is saying to me, that other thing is right for you, because you always get what is right for you. So, from this, we can also tell that we live in a world created by beliefs. Beliefs of which we may be aware of not. We can be conscious or unconsciously aware of them. They form our physical reality. And this is connected with soul, because what we believe, we actually harden into facts, because there is this constant dialogue going through in our inner world. However, there is also a higher level. There is also a step further. In order to enjoy this dialogue, there must be at least two beings. So when I'm talking about having a dialogue with soul, when the first being is soul, the first entity is soul, which is the other entity? Which is the other being beyond my soul? Because when I say having a dialogue with my soul, this implies someone else or something else beyond my soul. So here, for simplicity purposes, I call this other part the essence of me. I believe that this part is even higher than the soul and can, from a certain point of evolution, which is ascension, which is remembering who we truly are, this part of me, the essence of me, can command the soul. So far, I've been believing that soul is God. And now I open up to something even higher, that there is something higher than soul, something that goes beyond and above the soul. And I got this insight on how the essence of me is this something even higher than the soul. Something that goes beyond the concept of God. Something that maybe is unexplored so far. This essence, which I will call essence just to be more straight, is a higher power. I don't know if it's the highest power of all. To be honest, I got the sense within me that along the way I will discover that there is something even higher than this essence. For now, let's stay here. Essence can decide. Essence can change the soul's map of action, which is the soul's plan. How can essence can change this plan? By commanding the soul, by directing the soul. Or, in a sweeter way, by having a dialogue with soul, by telling soul what to do, and soul obeys. Soul has no power on essence because essence is higher. From essence below, so soul included, it is all a word, a dimension of beliefs, conscious or unconscious. Beliefs form a net that solidifies the 3D world according to them. So beliefs are power. They have this power to solidify, to give form to a specific kind of word, which is what they are. But who and what commands them? Who commands beliefs? Soul does. But soul is itself part of those beliefs, part of that beliefs net dimension. So let's have a look now from soul above. Here, in this dimension, we experience something new, not yet explored, however now revealed. Essence is freedom. It's power itself, sovereign of itself. It gets to decide and it commands the soul, which has no power on essence's decisions. Essence can change soul's plan just because it wants to experience something else, a new story. I sense that there is something else above essence. For now, this is the next level available to know, to embody, to explore even more. So now, with this knowing that I'm sharing with you, these are the questions. What shall we do? Which is the next step that gives us tangible wealth, tangible well-being? I leave it to you. I open up a space for dialogues here below in the comments. I give you space to sip and embody this elixir, the elixir of essence. I give you space to connect to your own essence and recognize how there is a step farther, a step beyond, a step above your soul, the connection with your essence. What does your essence truly want? Because you can command soul and you can change the soul's plan through essence. I encourage you to play with this concept on a concrete level, to command your soul, new things, new stuff. And let me know here below in the comments how it goes for you, what this message has opened for you. Embodying our new world where we are all empowered through our essence. And I meet you with the next message.